Hey everyone, Aladar here, and welcome back to another episode of my World of Warcraft Legion class preview. This time we're going to do the Warlock. The Warlock has gone under a few changes. I don't know if you call them major changes, but the developers basically want to take this class and make them more distinct in their playstyle and take them back to what they were originally intended to do. You may or may not like these changes. I personally really like them. I think they're kind of interesting. We'll still have to wait to see how they play out in gameplay, but it's pretty interesting what they're doing. They're making Affliction a much more dot-based class. They were always a dot-based class, but they really amplify that here and take away. It seems like they're going to be taking away some of their direct damage abilities. Demonology, they're going to really focus in on the fact that they're conjuring tons of demons and sending them out to fight. And destruction is pretty much staying basically the same, except they're taking away they're making their primary energy source soul shards. So anyways, let's get started here. We'll start with Affliction here. So again, like I said, they want to really focus in on the fact that Affliction Lorelocks are dot-based. They're taking the dots that they already have and basically amplifying them in power. So you're going to be doing significantly more damage with these dots than you were before. They don't mention anything about any direct damage spells, so that leads me to believe that they're taking some of them away, if not all of them. So it worries me a little bit how that's going to play out in certain situations. Perhaps PvP, their dots are going to just get completely dispelled and nullify the Warlocks. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, we'll get started here. Soul shards are now generally generated by each agony you have up on your targets instead of only by your most recent corruption cast, to favor placing dots on several targets rapidly, i.e. multi-dotting. So we'll take a look at the abilities that they've given us so far. Corruption you've already got. Instacast corrupts the target, causing moderate shadow damage over 14 seconds. Your next Instacast is Agony. Inflicts increasing agony on the target, causing up to a huge amount of shadow damage over 18 seconds. Damage starts low and increases for the duration. Refreshing Agony maintains its current damage level. When Agony deals damage, you have a chance to gain a soul shard. So there's one of the ways to gain a soul shard. Unstable Affliction, it's much like the way it is now, 1.5 second cast, and especially Insidious Affliction that deals strong shadow damage over 8 seconds. If the target dies, the soul shard will be refunded. If Unstable Affliction is dispelled, the dispeller suffers strong shadow damage and is silenced for 4 seconds. So basically you're going to want to be getting the Corruption, the Agony up first, and then you cast Unstable Affliction behind. The reason why is if they want to dispel all the dots off of you, they have to dispel Unstable Affliction, which then of course causes a silence for 4 seconds first. So that's how you hide the dots. Anyways, and then Drain Life is going to be your new filler. Instead of a direct damage spell, Drain Life is intended to be your new filler spell. So this seems quite powerful. Drain Life from the target, causing moderate shadow damage and restoring 18% of the caster's health over 6 seconds. That's quite a bit of health that you're going to be draining off of a person. And if you've got a healer with you as well in your group, if we're talking PvP here, they're going to be pretty tanky. Drain Life's damage is increased by 50% for each of your Corruption, Agony, and Unstable effects on the target. So if you've got all three of those up already, your life drain is going to be ticking away quite a bit, and you're going to be draining a lot of health. So that's the damage portion. So I guess the healing portion probably remains the same. So your damage is going to go up by 50%. Your mastery is Potent Afflictions. Increases the damage in Agony, Corruption, and Unstable Affliction by 62.5%. And this is with mastery from your gear that you get. So you can see that they're really focusing in on the fact that they want you to be doing dot damage. It's not a direct damage class, probably not a lot of burst damage at all. It's just gonna be a lot of steady, a lot of dot damage. So, anyways, so here's an Affliction spec talent that they're giving us as an example. Contagion. It's a passive. After you cast Unstable Affliction, you can cast a second one for free within 30 seconds. It doesn't say whether or not it's instacast. I'm going to assume it's not. I guess that just means that it doesn't cost you a soul shard. So Um, so we'll move on to demonology next. So demonology is really interesting because they've really taken demonology and kind of turned it to the point where they really want to move it in the direction where it's demons that they control, not just one anymore, but multiple demons constantly coming at you in waves. And this sounds really, really neat, actually. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I'm worried that maybe it's it's a lot of AOE damage or something like that, not a lot of focus damage, but it should look and play really, really well. I'm hoping. So anyways, that's the premise of what the developers want to see with demonology, and you can tell by the abilities that they've given to us that's what they're going to be focusing on. So Shadow Bolt, we've already seen that before. It's the same as Affliction. Affliction doesn't have it anymore. What am I saying? So anyways, sends a shadowy bolt at the enemy, causing minor shadow damage. Generates 1 soul shard. Called Dreadstalkers. This is new. It's 2 soul shards that you get. 2-second cast, 15-second cooldown. Summons 2 ferocious Dreadstalkers to attack your target. So you can see like another wave of demons are going to be attacking. Hand of Gul'dan. It's 1 to 5 soul shards. Calls down a demonic meteor full of wild imps, which burst forth and attack the target for 12 seconds. Deals up to a strong amount of shadow damage for all the enemies within 8 yards, and summons up to 5 wild imps based on the soul shards consumed. So you can save up these soul shards and then send them all just at this target. So you can see that they're building up where you're having waves and waves and waves of demons attacking people. It's not just you and your one demon that you've got. Anyways, demonic empowerment. It's 6% mana, 12-second recharge. You got 3 charges though. Empowers up to 3 of your active demons with dark energies, increasing their haste and health by 50% for 12 seconds. And it automatically prefers the stronger demons first, which is nice. So your stronger demons aren't just going to get wiped out and have these buffs on your weaker demons. Your mastery is Master Demonologist. Demonic empowerment also increases the damage of your demons by 50%. So you can see that they're really focusing on your demons being your primary source of damage that you're doing. Doom is it's an instant, but it inflicts impending doom on the target, causing absolutely massive shadow damage after 20 seconds. Now this doesn't sound like it's a dot. It just sounds like it's something that you put on someone, and it just waits 20 seconds, and then boom, it explodes, whatever it is. And it generates a soul shard when it deals damage. So I guess you have to wait the 20 seconds. Demon Wrath, 2.5% mana, and it's channeled. So your demons crackle with demonic energy. Every 1 second, all enemies within 10 yards of any of your demons take minor shadow damage. Each time Demon Wrath deals damage, it has a 15% chance to generate a soul shard. Now I don't know if that's 15% per demon, or is it if it's just per tick. Maybe channeled while moving as well, so you can run while you're channeling. That's kind of neat. Additionally, so here's your demonic specific talent, Implosion. It's an instant and causes all of your wild imps to be violently yanked toward the target and then explode, dealing moderate shadow damage to all enemies near. So this is your wild imps for your Hand of Gul'dan. So if you've got 5 of them that are cast, you'll use Implosion, and then they'll just kind of go at your one target and explode when they hit them. So it can do quite a bit of instant damage to one target. So there's some burst damage right there for you. Now Demonology, the main change here is they're going back to using soul shards for Demonology instead of Ember, and I don't really see it being that big of a difference. They just want to kind of make everything kind of the same for this sort of thing over all the Warlock specs. So it's not a major change, but they haven't really made much changes to the actual spec itself. So a lot of these abilities you're going to already have seen before. It's going to be fairly familiar. The developers say that they're quite pleased with the way Demonology is right now. I personally am not, coming from a PvP background, but if they're working fine in PvE, then I guess that's what they're building towards there anyways. And hopefully with the new PvP talent trees that they have coming out, they'll be decent in PvP as well. But let's get to the abilities here. Incinerate, we've seen before. It's a 2-second cast, it draws fire toward the enemy, dealing moderate fire damage. Immolate, it burns the enemy with fire, causing minor fire damage. It's a dot, basically over 15 seconds. Immolate critical strikes have a 30% chance to generate a soul shard, so you got to keep track of those. Conflagrate is it's on an 8-second recharge, and it's got 2 charges. So triggers an explosion of fire on the target, dealing moderate fire damage and generating a soul shard. Also causes a backdraft, reducing the casting time of Incinerate and Chaos Bolt by 30% for 5 seconds. So let's see here. So if it's Incinerate and Chaos Bolt, so Chaos Bolt is next. Unleashes devastating blasts of chaos, causing huge shadow damage. Chaos Bolt always critical strikes on your and your critical strike chance increases its damage. Havoc is an instant cast on a 20-second cooldown. You mark the target with Havoc for 8 seconds, crushing your single target spells to also strike them. A limit of 1. And your mastery is going to be Chaotic Energies. Your destruction spells deal up to 40% additional damage randomly. So it's kind of a random thing. You hope it procs. It would be nice if it gave you a proc that, hey, this is happening now, and then you knew when to do your really heavy damage spells. But we'll have to wait and see how they come out with this. Additionally, to provide a glimpse, they give you a destruction specific talent, and this is Channeled Demon Fire. And it's a channeled spell, obviously, 12-second cooldown. It launches 15 bolts of fell fire at immolated enemies within 40 yards over 3 seconds. Each bolt deals moderate fire damage. So you want to make sure you have your immolate up on a lot of people at one time. So I guess you're going to be casting immolate to over a bunch of people, and then you want to do, I guess, conflagrate, so that you've got your cast time of Incinerate and Chaos Bolt down quite a bit. So so let's see, Incinerate's a 2-second cast, Chaos Bolt's a 5.5 or 2.5 second cast. So because this is a 30% for 5 seconds, you probably want to cast 2 Chaos Bolts. So you'd be doing your Immolate, Conflagrate, Chaos Bolt, and then probably Channel Demon Fire. So I get that's probably a basic rotation that you'd be doing. Anyways, overall, I like the way that they're taking Warlock, much like I like some of the other specs. I like the fact that they're really kind of pushing Affliction and Demonology and Destruction into separate paths for doing different types of damage. You've got your Dot class, you've got your Pet class, and you've got your Burst damage class. The way things were going with Affliction, or with the class as it was right now, a lot of the specs were basically doing a lot of burst damage. Affliction had dots, but it also had some really bursty periods. Demonology obviously had your double Chaos Bolt, and Destruction is a direct damage based spec already anyway. So I'm glad that they're going in separate directions, so you've got your choice. It sounds really interesting. We'll have to wait to see how it plays out in gameplay. If you have any questions about this video, any comments, concerns, or suggestions, please leave a comment at the bottom of the page. If you'd like to talk to me personally, I do have a Twitch that I'm on quite frequently. It's at twitch.tv/Aladar, and you can also follow me on Twitter. All the links will be below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Talk to you soon.